Uh,
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much said a lot of the experiences that I've had as well. I think there were some of those biases that kind of come across, but I'm a little laid back, so some of it just kind of hits me, and then I just kind of brush it off and not worry about it. Coming from Hawaii to here, it was a gigantic cultural shock because you're around so many Asians to begin with, and so much of Japanese
cultural shock because there's so many more in Hawaii than here.
Well, you feel like having Asians in your life is a more of a normal type context, because Hawaii has such a large Asian population, and so much of the culture is embedded within the daily life in Hawaii. And so things like the Born Festival or taiko drumming or just anything related to many Asian cultures, it's very prevalent, and it's incorporated in the media, in the writing, it's incorporated in the daily speech. So coming here, where I went to Robinson High School, and I was one of the very few Asians there in my graduating class. It was a cultural shock in that respect of knowing that you really did feel kind of like a minority, at least from my perspective. And I did come across some what I think was more overt type racism in terms of comments, derogatory comments. But for every one of those, I had so many other friends that were of all backgrounds. Best friends were of all different types of ethnicities. And our neighbors, when we first moved in, they were very accommodating to us. They wanted to know more about culture and what it was like to live in Hawaii, and they helped us get used to what snow was and how we should not pour boiling water on our frozen windshields. It's a lot of those things that we did feel very welcome, I think, for the most part.
Now, how has Fairfax County changed since you started living here? Perhaps I'll throw that to you first, Ken.
That's tough. That's changed in a lot more people, a lot more houses, a lot less woods, a lot more things. The libraries are closer. We have the rec centers. The schools have always been good. I presume they continue to be good.
TJ High School was the #1 school in the country.
No, but you can tell when you go down the list of the 100 high schools and stuff like that Virginia shows up very, very well, Northern Virginia shows up very well, and Fairfax County shows up very well. Obviously, that's one of the reasons. When you move to Washington, there are a lot of places you can move to. The education system and the sense of newness was one of the things that attracted us to Fairfax. But how has it changed? There's, I know one way it's changed. More Asian stores, more Asian food stores, more Asian restaurants. Well, when I say Asian, I'm primarily thinking Japanese, but there's a lot of Thai restaurants, and obviously there's a lot of Chinese restaurants, grocery stores where you can buy Asian foods. Before we used to have to go up to, I think it was called Mikado, up on Wisconsin Avenue, just above Kennedy Circle. That could have been the only store that had Asian foods, and they happen to have a restaurant. Now we've got a place that we go to in Brant all the time, and that serves really good Japanese food. There's that kind of change that we've gone through. These guys go karaoke, sing, or really late into the night. I never get invited, thank goodness.
And do you have something to add on that in terms of how you've seen Fairfax change?
I don't know if it's that it's actually changed or it's just the perception difference between being a kid and being an adult. But I know I spent 8 years out of the area, and when I came back, it did seem to me like there were a lot more Asians in the area. And I don't know if that's actually the fact or if that's just, like I said, a perception change. I know we went to a concert, actually at Robinson High School one time, and one of the first comments that I made to Greg was, I don't remember there being so many Asian kids in our band. And it's true, and that's one of the things actually, thinking back to high school, we went to Lake Braddock, and there were a lot of Asian kids in our high school, but that said, there was still sort of almost self-segregation between the Asian groups, not in terms of, we wouldn't associate with them. We have a lot of friends who are of other Asian backgrounds, but, it did feel like, because we had like 4 Japanese American kids in our high school out of, 4,000 students, that like that was pretty significant. And even though we had friends who were Korean, we didn't really socialize outside of school with them. Same goes with some of the Vietnamese kids. We were conscious that they were there because we had Asian clubs at school, but we didn't really socialize outside of school. So in that sense, we did sort of have that self-segregation. So I don't know if that's a difference. I don't know if that's still